So just back to flavours quickly. What's the most popular flavour?
Chocolate. And chocolate has been around forever.
Didn't have to think about that long.
Chocolate will always be such a safe flavour because people know what it is.
Everyone likes
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. But having said that, we do a chocolate marble cake as well, which is sort of a lighter version of a chocolate cake, so it's not quite so heavy.
So that would be like your after dessert cake?
Yeah.
Like a tea and coffee cake?
Yeah, although people do, when you're doing desserts, it's really nice if you have two marble cakes. So you might have caramel marble and chocolate marble.
Okay.
You cut them up and it's so nicely presented because you've got a layered cake with the ganaches and you've got the swirl through the cake.
Okay.
And it's quite pretty.
So we've got chocolate, fruit cake, vanilla, you said?
Vanilla.
Are there any other flavours?
Caramel, there's almond and praline, there's orange and poppy seed, banana.
Okay, so,
Yeah,
it's
so
heaps. You really have anything.
Nearly anything.
Okay, so with the marzipan, you were saying if they do decide to have marzipan on a fruit cake, was it?
Yeah, on a fruit cake.
Yeah.
That will put a layer of marzipan on there and then a layer of the fondant.
Right,
Now that's if they're really into their fruit cakes and they love marzipan.
Okay.
But otherwise, if they request it, we will do it. But it's not something we would ever do as a standard thing,
Something
even
like
with
that.
fruit cake.
Okay. So, okay, so going back to the original consultation when the couple comes to see you, so they might say, we want a chocolate cake on one layer and banana on the next layer, so that doesn't affect, does that affect pricing?
No,
Okay.
No,
so
it
just
doesn't.
you can have any flavour?
no.
Okay.
We will do any flavour configuration,
Yeah.
providing that it works best for the wedding.
Okay.
Because some people think if you serve people Jaffa cake in your whole cake, they're not going to eat that. So we would like to go through and say, okay, perhaps you may want to think of having one layer of Jaffa cake
Right.
and then offering other ones so that you can cater to people, because your top layer that you have is the layer for you guys,
Yeah.
and the other two would be for your wedding. So when you're catering for people, you try and choose flavours that will hopefully agree
Keep
with
everyone
the
happy.
majority of the people there.
Okay. So we've got our flavours, and then, I mean, I remember, well, I've seen some too, some of the cakes that I see that, is it fondant, the stuff, the white
Yes.
stuff on the outside, like an inch thick, and it always left on the side of the plate, and it's like,
And that is not what we do either.
okay, so what happens is it different?
Okay, our process of our cakes is we actually split our cakes twice and fill them with ganache, and ganache is cream and chocolate melted together.
So it goes around the outside of the
And then it
cake?
goes on inside, layered, and then it goes completely over the outside of the cake,
Okay.
and we get that ever so smooth. And then
Right.
after that, we apply the fondant.
So is the old days they used to use thick fondant, was that to get it smooth?
That's exactly right. And preserving, because with fruit cake, if you had a
okay.
fruit cake, you would have so much fruit in there, it's high sugar content, and there's lots of butter in there and all
Okay.
that stuff. And so then they wanted it to keep for a year, so you put a layer of sugar, which the fondant is.
Yeah.
The thicker you get that, the better. Seal it up, and it has great keeping
Okay.
qualities.
So we don't need to do any of that anymore?
We don't need to do that.
So the
we
actual
want-
fondant tastes nice now?
Yeah, do you know, it's sort of a vanilla-y flavour, but you actually don't get a lot of that because of the ganache that's underneath it. So you mix it
Okay.
together, you're not tasting it.
Okay, so you get the
As
chocolate
such.
hit from
You're
the
getting the
ganache.
chocolate hit. The best
Awesome.
part.
Awesome. So, and what would be the most popular square cakes, round cakes, 2-tier, 3-tier?
I would say anywhere from the 2 to 3 layer cake is fairly standard for here. Now that comes back to whether you're using the cake as dessert or not. And round is probably by far the most popular. People sometimes come in and ask for a square cake because they think it's easier to cut up. But
Okay.
it's not really. It goes out to the kitchen and they will grid cut a cake for a round
Okay.
cake. So, you know,
But they won't be cutting up anyway.
They're not
It's
cutting
going to be
up.
the chef.
that's exactly. And the chefs out in the kitchen, they know how many slices to get out per layer,
Okay.
everything like that.
So clients have to know how many guests they're going to have before they put their
Yes, and that's always just an outside number because it's only a variance usually of 10 to 20 people, which is not huge
cake. Yeah.
when you're catering.
Okay.
And then you can also have a kitchen cake.
So, kitchen cake. So what's
Now-
a kitchen cake?
A kitchen cake, which we get asked because I just sometimes at the consultation will rattle that off and I forget that people don't
Yeah.
know about this. And so a kitchen cake is one that is simply served out in the kitchen. It's not out on display, and that can actually make that serving time so much easier for the venue.
Okay. So I'm assuming that the chef gets that already,
That's right.
even before the cake's cut, and that can
Exactly.
then be part of dessert.
Yes.
Okay.
Because just the way with people, more and more people, about 90% of people are using their cake for dessert now. So
Okay.
it still has to get cut up out the front, so with the ceremonial part,
Yeah, sure.
and then it will go out the back and get prepped for X amount of people.
Okay.
So if they have a kitchen cake out there, it gives the kitchen some time
Right.
to
Okay.
get prepared. and then they can whisk the cake from out the front, out the back, and finish that off.